And a very good evening to you. My name is Saira. I'm your host. You're listening to the Modern Mystic Radio Show on A1R Psychic Radio Network, the world's #1 psychic radio network, and also on Moonstruck TV. Now, I'm not on my own today. I do have a very special guest. I'm going to introduce him in a moment, but before I do that, I'm just going to remind you how you can get in contact with me if you do want a private reading. You can get through to me on my website, which is www.modern-mystic.co.uk, or you can connect to me on Facebook under Modern Mystic and also under Mystic Saira, which is my screen name over in the UK for Sky TV. There I do a weekly Facebook live session, which is absolutely free, so feel free to join in with that. I work as a psychic here in the UK. I also work with a variety of different tools, but famous for my tools. I work with the Psy cards, which are not quite the tarot, but I'm just going to show them to you here. And these are my favourite deck. I've used them ever since I did my first readings. They've been with me since day one. I've also got with me a variety of different tarot decks. I'm just going to show you those. Okay. Right. So here we go. And I do work with the runestones. I don't have them on me, but I do have my chakra pendulum. So I also work as a healer. And I've got my chakra pendulum here. There I can actually have a look at what's going on within your aura. And I will be able to actually have a look at each chakra, how it's functioning, and if there are any blockages. I have noticed that over the past sort of 4 to 5 months, a lot of soulmates and twin flames have been going through huge difficulty. We have had new connections coming in, and we've also had huge breakdowns as well. This has been very much an issue in terms of soulmates connecting properly. So if that's something that you've experienced here with relationships, it's been further compounded by Mercury retrograde in the star sign of Aries. So that's kind of given forth a bit of an explosive nature. And I also feel that this is actually coming to an end as well. So we're coming out of Mercury retrograde by around the 15th. We can hear Bryn, which is wonderful.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we've got Bryn. Hi, Bryn. Welcome.
Oh, hello. Okay.
Finally.
Oh, my goodness. Gosh. It's Mercury retrograde. What can I say?
Yes, it is indeed. And you've just felt that in full force.
Yes. It's been like that all day. That's why in times like this, speaking of foot reflexology, we have to be grounded when this turmoil comes around in our lives. It's the challenge to be grounded when these kind of, crossfires happen in our lives, right?
Absolutely.
And I guess living in New York City is a good place for that because it's such a busy place that I grew up here, and one of my issues when I was growing up was feeling grounded. So likewise, I found the modality in my life that I needed to help myself and others with being grounded, connecting to their bodies, connecting to their spirits, opening up the channels, and being present in all types of emotional, mental, spiritual weather. I mean, how do you find that as a so are you like a natural psychic medium? Is that something that's been with you for for pretty much all my life? It kind of blossomed over the years of working on people's feet. Sometimes I would put, say, like my finger on the liver reflex on the foot, and I would see the condition of a person's liver, whether it was healthy or not. And then a lot of times I would say that out to them, and they say, oh yeah, my doctor said this or that, so I got confirmations. And then now and again, then I'd see departed loved ones or guides or spirit animals. Sometimes I see a lot of spirit animals like buffaloes and different birded, winged beings and all that.
Hmm.
So, so yeah, it came about over the years of uh, doing the reflexology. As you work with energy, you become sensitive to it, and then you kind of open up to the rhythm of that other side, that other
Hmm.
plane of existence, as you know, as a medium.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was going to say, as a psychic, as a sensitive, going into like a city environment, I always find very challenging.
That's right.
Too much
Yeah.
energy to kind of deal with. And I was just wondering, with you living there, how is that? I mean, how do you find it? How do you find yourself able to cope?
Well, I have some good supportive people around me, and I've learned a lot about grounding and protecting, putting up like a shield and everything. And sometimes I'm better at it than other days, but I think the best thing I can do is when I get home from a day of being around the masses, so to speak, uh, I will do things to uh, let that energy go into the earth, because the earth, the Mother Earth, actually, it's a gift to give to the Mother Earth because she transmutes that energy into food for herself. So you give all that kind of heaviness and stress and everything, and it helps to nourish the earth. And I feel that it's something that is very vital for me to have learned this over the years,
Hmm.
because if I hadn't, I'd be walking the four walls by now. And sometimes I still do. Sometimes I still do that, but you know, yeah.
Okay, so we will be going on to a caller fairly shortly. But before we do that, in the ways in which you sort of tune in, obviously you do that naturally within your energy healing and your reflexology.
Yeah.
But, how else do you sort of tune in? Do you work with spirit guides? How does the information come across for
Well,
you?
I just tune into the name of the person, like I get their name, and then I tune into the question or the situation.
Hmm.
Sometimes I can see without a question, like if whatever is surrounding the person, if there's a guide or spirit. A lot of times I like specific questions. Sometimes I can do a general reading, but I prefer specific things about, whatever section of your life you want to look into.
Hmm.
And so, but that's how I work. I have some like, cards with me, but I don't use them as like, I use them just on myself, but I do have actually some of my own cards that I make from my artwork. Is like there's one here of it's probably hard to see.
No, it's
There's
lovely.
that
Yes,
one,
it's stunning.
and this is uh, sort of southwestern one, and this is one that came from an inspiration of just a tree with the sun, you know. But
Oh,
that's
wonderful.
like three of many different ones that I do for my artwork, uh, and I do that out of inspiration. Sometimes it comes in my imagination. Sometimes I'll see an object that I feel inspired to put down, and then all of a sudden things are being added to it. Like things come into my mind
Hmm.
to like add onto the paper. So, but for me, art is a big lesson for me in just letting go and not judging, and not being self-judgmental about it has to be like perfect, all the time.
No, it looks fantastic, and it's obviously when we're working intuitively, that creative element comes out as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to go on to a caller in a moment. But before I do that, how can people contact you if they're interested in having a session with you?
Sure. I'm constructing. I'm in the construction of putting up a better website. Excuse me. But in the meantime, I have a Facebook page. called Many Worlds Healing, Many Worlds Healing. Then there's my email, Bryn Durham, BrynDurham, at gmail.com. They can get me those two ways, and they can put Bryn Durham in the Facebook thing too, and that'll come up. They can contact me there.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
So plenty of ways to get hold of you.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so let's go straight on to our caller. We have Sharice in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Hi, Sharice, are you there? Are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well. I'm going to pass you straight over to Bryn, who's going to do your reading for you. Do you have a question for Bryn?
Oh, you talking to me right now?
Yes, yeah. Do you have a question for Bryn?
Okay, I'm sorry. Bryn, I've had a lot of tears, sadness, stress, and bad luck lately in my life. I mean, I know that's a part of life sometimes, but my question is, do I have any happiness, joy, and excitement coming into my life to look forward to?
All right, let's take a quick look here, Sharice. Okay, what's coming up? Is Sharice going to have a better life? They're immediately pointing me to the month of June as the start of something for you. June, there seems to be, it feels to me like a new cycle is starting up in June for you, because I instantly was looking at like a better kind of wave for Sharice, and I feel this year in June, let's see, let me just get more specific here. Okay. Where's Sharice in June? A lot of the energy that you've been feeling, Sharice, I feel is going to lift around mid-July into June. And it feels like that, because I'm looking at your shoulders, I feel there's been a lot of stress and tension in the shoulders and neck, and a lot of heavy feelings. And I feel... I look at I'm getting a very strong sense about June and July and June, like the month of June as the beginning of a new fresh start. It feels like a fresh start for me, and it feels like it's like an introduction to the year after. So I feel in terms of let's say, okay, Sharice's finances coming up in June. The financial part of it actually becomes a lot more prevalent in September, but I feel your energy levels on the whole will improve in June, and that will also, I feel like you meeting some more people, different people coming up, and it almost like it's going to free up your youthful energy, because I do feel you have a youthful energy, and I feel that is going to be more or less unchained, is what I'm picking up for you. Yeah. So I don't feel this is like a permanent thing, Sharice. I do feel it's starting in June of this year.
Okay, so June, basically life will get a lot better for me.
Yeah, it feels like there's something starting to brew inside of you, and I feel it from the solar plexus and my heart, like a regeneration, a kind of renewal, and a pushing forward, like something that has been stuck inside is expressing itself now, so that's something I'm feeling about this for you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you, Sharice. I'm just going to, I pulled out a few cards for you as well. So I think we're going to do almost like a bit of a joint reading here. So I'm just going to tune into your energy as well, because again, I'm picking a lot of what Bryn has said, in terms of the time frame June, and also picking up on the autumn month, September time. I feel are very, very strong for you. Now, if I'm looking at the past energy for you, what you've been going through, not just over the past year, but much, much longer than that, has been a real strengthening and maturing process for you. And I feel, at the moment you're still waiting. You're waiting for your next level. You've done all the consolidation. You've done all the thinking, the self-growth, the personal development around it. And I feel here, there's two areas that are coming in. You kind of, when you were describing this energy, Bryn, of things being sort of like coming up from the solar plexus and almost this renewal,
Right.
the energy that I was getting here is almost like the phoenix from the ashes kind of feeling.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does that make
exactly.
sense? Yeah. Does that make sense to you, Charisse?
Yes.
Yeah. And what I feel here, I'm being very drawn towards the work area. And what I'm kind of getting here with this is I keep on getting the word sort of self-actualizing here. So I feel as though you're going to make a major leap forward, possibly a career change or new business or something that I feel is very empowering for your soul as well as your general sort of development in the work field. That's what I feel like I've got coming in first. There's something around work for you coming in around June. As we go a little bit further into the summer, sort of July, August time, I feel like there is a bubbling forth of the relationship energy coming forward for you. I'm getting with this almost like a twin flame or soulmate connection. Okay. Okay, so that is what I feel. Yeah, I feel like you're going to be feeling very alive and very much almost like the opposite energy of what you have been feeling, which is that despondency, that apathy, etc. So, I do feel that we've got quite a lot of stuff coming in for you. I think this year is going to be offering you that turning point, and quite rightly, I feel that Bryn has kind of nailed it there in saying that it's actually starting to happen for you in June. Does that make sense to you?
I can see the boyfriend too, the man coming in. Yeah.
That
makes me happy that both of y'all see good stuff, because I'm telling you, it's been terrible.
It's been it across the board for a lot of people I know have been having very stressful, anxious times. So you're not the only one, but I empathize with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Charisse. I hope you enjoyed your reading.
Thank you for my reading, y'all. I appreciate it.
Take care, Charisse. Have a good one.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I have noticed that as well, Bryn, with my clients, that the past year.
It's been a run for the money, I think.
I think it has, and what I found is that a lot of people have been absolutely pushed to their limit.
Yes.
I don't know what your experience is, but almost like that backbreaking kind of energy of where everything kind of implodes.
Right. It's almost in every department, and once again, I feel that's where getting grounded is so important for people to find, even if it's not foot reflexology, whatever, like getting out in nature, being against a tree, being with an animal. I know it's like I have a cat here at home, and it's so real. Animals are real, and they put you back into your reality. They bring out your humanity. They bring out your real self. You cannot not open your heart when you're with an animal, wild or domestic. I think that's my opinion, Yeah.
I mean, what would you say is your major bulk of work at the moment? Is it along the sort of psychic reading route? Is it more under the healing route? What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, recently it's been more the psychic. I do a few foot reflexology sessions, and I just want to put out to people, anybody in the New York City area and surrounding areas, the way I work, I go to people's homes and I do your feet. So it's like you can just stay at home and relax. And I want to put an offer out to people to get a $10 off discount session in the New York or surrounding boroughs area for foot reflexology or readings, and you can contact me, brynderm@gmail.com, or Facebook, Many Worlds Healing on Facebook. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. And obviously, if you're listening out there, if you want to take advantage of Bryn's wonderful offer at the moment, you know how to contact him. So I'm going to have to leave it there. My show is coming to a close. So thank you so much, Bryn.
Thank you, Sarah. It's great talking with you.
Yeah, and it's been wonderful to have you on the show. So I'm going to wish you a wonderful evening ahead. And to everyone listening out there, we've got lots and lots of shows coming up over to the rest of the evening and also the rest of the week. So I'm going to wish you all a great week ahead. See you the same time next week. And then once again, if you want to get a hold of me, you can do on www.modern-mystic.co.uk. Have a great evening.